Hello everyone, we are going to discuss the topic about the historical experience of one of the following minority community in Fiji between 1870 and 1970. But there were also many minority community in Fiji, but I have selected Panaba to do their research. So the contents of my presentation, there were four. The first, map of Rambi Island. Second, the background of Panaba. Third, challenges that Panaba faced during their movement. And last, the historical experience of Panaba when arriving in Fiji. Okay, let's move to the first objective about the map of Rambi Island. We know the Rambi Island, also four villages in Rambi Island. And when the Panaba arriving in Fiji, in Rambi, also distributed in different villages in Rambi. So the first, also know the first place that Panaba settled after the World War II. So we are going to discuss the second objective, the background of Panaba. Also relocated to Rambi Island over 2,000 miles away in the Fiji group, arriving without supplies and supports on 15 December 1945. Any future plans to visit or see their homeland could only be done after obtaining approval from the British colonial government. So the Panaba arriving to Rambi in Fiji on December 15, 1945 by a boat or a ship called the Trion. So bringing from their homes in the Gilbert Island, 703 Panabans will arrive in Fiji. Also they were sent to Fiji during the colonial period. So after coming to Rambi, Panaba found a long battle for compensation against the UK because of the damage of their home island and their replacement. So we are going to discuss the challenges that Panaba faced during their movements. So the Panaba arrived on Rambi and faced new adversities. So a different environment and climate change of cold winters, cyclone season, and mosquito-borne disease. So the loss of many of the Panaban children and elders from pneumonia and dengue fever. So they live like soldiers for using the tents for sleeping, and also plenty of cattle in Rambi at that time. While coming from Mosen Island, most of the old men and women died because of the climate that we were facing when they reached the Fiji before they landed on Rambi. Okay, let's move to the last part, the historical experience of Panaba. And also many people themselves see a different kind of work, include on the Hosen Island, people could work for the company in skilled and semi-skilled jobs, buy imported food at cheaper prices from the company store, and also sell easily caught fish to Chinese laborers who has on the Rambi. They are just depend on the fishing, farming, and copra catching. So after the turbulent period, the majority of Panaba decided to stay in Rambi. At the same time, those who wanted to return to Panaba had to return to live in a makeshift camp, more like refuge in their homeland, and they were not allowed to return to their land. And also, the eventually make army tents held no protection against the cyclone rains that lashed the island, and the Panaba had never experienced any cold weather before. There were only 2 months supplies of ration, and thought that they were not they were now on the island of plenty of running spring water, groves of waving coconut trees, and pantanus to feed them. So the Barnaby did not know about the farming, and the pigs were indeed wild. Barnaby had never known the arts of hunting, only fishing in their own environment. But they were welcomed the idea of not having to worry about drought, but no one told them about the other dangers of drinking contaminated water in the tropical dry season. So we come up, and what we have learned from the presentation about the background of Barnaby, we all understand the challenges that Barnaby faced during their movements, and also the historical experience of Barnaby when arriving in Fiji. So these are the references that expanding the information of historical experience of Barnaby. So thank you, and that's all from me. Vinaka.